Hey, it's Lord Knight bringing you my personal tips to help you prepare for a Guilty Gear Strive online esports competition on PlayStation tournaments. So in order to help you out, I came up with 4 different tips. 2 inside the game, 2 outside the game. The ones inside the game would be knowing your competition and knowing the burst rules of Guilty Gear Strive, and the ones outside of the game would be treat Guilty Gear Strive, the video game, like a traditional sport, and be ready to embrace the nerves of competition. First off, we're going to be talking about knowing your competition. And this might sound a little weird because you might be thinking, well, of course you want to know the competition, but fighting games are an open bracket tournament format. So what this means is you can be playing against 7 people one day, and you could be playing against 7,000 people another day. So to make our lives easier, rather than learning about all these different people, we will try to learn about the different characters in the game instead. Since there are a set number of characters in the game, it is much easier to build a general strategy against each character, learn a couple of flaws, a couple of strengths of each character, and use that against your opponents, rather than trying to just straight up figure out what your opponent will do. So for example, there are some common repeated sequences you might see in Guilty Gear Strive with characters like Nagoriyuki. This sequence setting up a very scary mix-up where he can grab you and potentially win the game off the grab. However, with a little preparation in advance, you would learn that there is a small gap on that third slash, which means you can interrupt. Knowing 1 or 2 of these things by character will take you a long way in your first Guilty Gear Strive online tournaments. Tip number 2 is about treating esports like a traditional sport. A normal gaming session can be as short or as long as you feel like it, but official tournaments have official schedules. Make sure you know what the schedule is like for the day. Make sure you get a good night's sleep the night before. Understand your relationship with food, because food is going to be your fuel for the day. And make sure you stay hydrated. Feeling well physically will translate to you hopefully playing better and getting some dubs. For tip number 3, we're going to be talking about the burst rules of Guilty Gear Strive. Bursts are like a combo breaker. You can use them to either set up offense or turn a situation around. A successful burst can turn the tide of the match in your favor, but if it gets baited for some reason, it might cost you the entire game. Being able to burst well is really important, and thankfully, I'm going to tell you some really great ways to use your burst. Here are some guidelines that I have to help you with bursting. So some characters are very momentum heavy, so against them you want to burst pretty quickly to deny them the chance at building momentum. This is characters like Chip Zanov, Jacko Valentine, characters like that. So against them, you kind of just want to burst them as soon as you can, as soon as they get a good combo. If not, they'll be able to put you into the corner very quickly. Number 2 would be to avoid bursting attacks that are jump cancelable. So not all characters' moves can be jumped after. So here he's doing crouching slash, can't jump, but then his standing kick and standing slash he can jump, and specifically the close standing slash. We want to avoid bursting the standing kick and the close standing slash. So in this combo here, you see he'll do close slash and then jump. And if I burst that close slash, then he's going to block it, punish me, and then I'm going to be in a really bad situation. So next, we're going to talk about using offensive bursts. Normally, you need pretty good timing to use offensive bursts. You can't be in hit stun or block stun, but when you get thrown, and after other things like supers, it becomes much easier to time an offensive burst. An offensive burst that hits gives you all your meter instantly, so that can be a great way to turn a round around. And the last tip is about the opponent with meter. And specifically, when the opponent has meter, hold off on using your burst until you see a safe spot, usually after they spend the meter. So in this example, we're going to have Chip doing a combo here into Roman cancel. He's going to wait a little bit and then a follow up. If you react to him just hitting you, you're going to burst and then get punished, which is less than ideal. Even after his Roman cancel, he's safe for a little while as well. Instead, specifically, We want to wait until there's a safe spot to escape, and then we use the burst there. The final tip I have for you is to embrace the nerves. So some of you might be really comfortable doing things in high pressure situations. Others may not have ever done anything in front of a group of people, or maybe you've never competed before in front of people ever. And a question that I get very often is, how do you deal with nerves? I feel like I'm not playing normally, or I feel like I'm playing worse. I've been competing for a long time and I still get nervous. And what I've learned, what I try to tell people is, you should accept the nerves. Nerves is your body's way of telling you it knows it's time to perform. So use that energy in your favor and focus up and play your best game. Those are my tips to help you compete in a Guilty Gear Strive online competition. For more Guilty Gear Strive tips, make sure to subscribe to the PlayStation Esports YouTube channel. And you can sign up for PlayStation tournaments right from your console.
PlayStation